Pedals are fun, and if you can find one at a good price that does a lot of stuff, they're even better. This is the Donner Harmonic Square. This week on Learning Curve. I initially bought the Harmonic Square because I wanted to lay down bass tracks for loops, and the Harmonic Square certainly does that, but it does so many other things. It can go up to 2 octaves up to 2 octaves down, and it also has a detuning feature, which is kind of like a weird chorus. Here's the definition of a detuner. And I'll play it for you in a little bit so you can get an idea of what that sounds like. Rather than talk too much about the pedal, I'm just going to show you what it can do. How about that? Here's the controls on the pedal, first of all. That's the on button. This little knob figures out how many degrees up, how many degrees down, or how much it's detuning. This is the wet level. This is the dry level. And this tells you what mode you're in, whether you're in up mode, down mode, or detune mode. So we're going to start with what I use it for the most, and we're just going to use it as a bass. So what this is doing is dropping everything down an octave. So it goes from this to this. Now, if you want to go down 2 octaves, because maybe you're having trouble pooping, you can do that too. This also sounds cool if you want to use it as like a fuzz bass. Another thing I like to do while we're in this position is turn up the dry, turn the wet down to about 50%, leave it at an octave down, have some bass, and then push a tube screamer through that. And the bass, as you heard, is kind of a germanium circuit. I believe it's called a maestro style, but it's the satisfaction-y sounding bass. So when you do it all, octave down, full dry, 50% wet, tube screamer, fuzz, you get something like this. I'm a fan of that one. I like that one a lot. Okay, you can also leave the dry up all the way, leave the wet at about 50, go up an octave, and now you've kind of got a 12-stringy sound. Now sometimes I'll throw a little tremolo on that and it almost becomes an organ. Then if you go 2 octaves up, so that's kind of fun. Okay, so you can go a lot of ways with this. I'm going to turn it so that you're only getting the signal, so that you're only getting the pedal. And we're going to go, let's say you're in a cover band, you just finished playing Brown Eyed Girl, but you're artists and you're not a jukebox, so you're going to play some death metal after that, but you don't have time to retune. Here's what you do. Thank you. Now we're going to play one of our songs. We hope you like it. It's called Die, Die, I Ate a Puppy, Die. Okay, that was kind of heavy, but let's go a little heavier. And then you just crank it another notch down. Not heavy enough? We can even go farther down. So you get that, right? Okay, well now let's say you're in a different band, and they're like, we really like all the stuff you do in E, but this song's in G. Do you think you could maybe play all your guitar solos in G instead? And you didn't tell them that you only know how to play in E, and you don't own a capo. So conceivably, this might not be the ideal situation, but conceivably, so they're playing away in A. What you can do, turn this up 5 steps. That should give you enough time to go learn the rest of those scales. But what if they're like, yeah, that was great. Then they're like, we have a slow jam in G. You can solo over a slow jam in G, right? And you're like, as far as you know, I can. And then they're like, So basically what it's doing is it's moving the nut up and down depending upon how you set it, which is a pretty awesome feature. It also does this thing called detuning, which is kind of like a chorus. I like it. I don't use it a ton because I have a chorus, but basically it sounds like this. But that's not all you get. You can also have the dry all the way up, turn the wet up 50, 75, and then add an extra note, basically, right? So you're getting the wet and the dry at the same time. So if you're playing an A, you're also adding the fifth, which is E. So it's kind of a one-man power chord. It's like a bar chord all by itself. But it's also just kind of a cool sounding. On the fifth, it's cool sounding. When you get over in this territory, it gets a little hanky. To me, this sounds like, if you're going to do like a performance art interpretive piece, lizards don't have credit cards. They don't need them. Or something like that. So anyway, that is the Donner Harmonic Square. It is a bunch of stuff in a small space, in a tiny pedal. It's super useful. It's super fun. And it's like 50 bucks new, probably like 25 bucks on eBay or Reverb. I recommend it. I love it. I use it constantly. I hope you like it. Hey, if you like the show, please subscribe, please share, please like. My name is Spencer Dobson. Thank you for watching Learning Curve.